When it comes to handhelds, there's really just one big reason to buy one. Portability. Being able to take your games anywhere, the plane, the bus, vacations, even lounging on the beach. That freedom is what makes handhelds magical. But let me be real. I've always avoided playing big AAA games on handhelds. I wanted the best of the best, high FPS, gorgeous visuals, quick load times. So handheld gaming was something I only did on my Switch, and usually just for casual sessions. But then I picked up the Steam Deck, and everything changed. This thing isn't just another handheld, it's basically a full PC in your hands. Right out of the box, the Steam Deck actually impressed me. You get a sturdy case, not some cheap plastic throw-in, and a nice long charging cable, which is something more companies should do. I went with the OLED version because of the bigger screen, the brighter colors, and the insane contrast. And wow, it looks stunning. The only downside? Smudges. Fingerprints show up like crazy, so I'm constantly wiping it down with the included cloth. But honestly, that's a small trade-off for how good this screen looks. Compared to my Switch OLED, they look nearly identical at first glance, but the deck has one clear edge: the controls. These controllers feel incredible. They're big, balanced, and comfortable enough that I forget I'm even holding a bulky handheld. Plus, the built-in touchpads are perfect for games that just feel wrong without a mouse. The biggest upgrade to the Steam Deck is hands down its new display. The OLED model jumps from the original's 7-inch LCD to a slightly larger 7.4-inch OLED screen, and the difference is night and day. It supports HDR, which means games like Spider-Man Remastered look incredible with richer highlights and deeper shadows. Brightness also got a big bump, up to 1000 nits for HDR content and 600 nits for SDR compared to the original deck's 400 nits LCD. Resolution is still 1280 by 800, but the OLED panel now supports full RGB and DCI-P3 color, giving you more accurate colors, stunning contrast, and pitch black dark scenes that the LCD just couldn't match. Add in a faster 90 Hz refresh rate and an insanely quick 0.1 millisecond response time, and gameplay feels smoother, sharper, and more responsive than ever before. Even the touchscreen got a boost, with a 180 Hz polling rate for more accurate and snappy inputs. Now, how does that stack up against the Nintendo Switch OLED? Well, the Switch's screen is still 7 inches at 1280 by 720 resolution, so it's not quite as sharp as the deck's display. Its brightness caps out at around 343 nits, making it harder to see in brighter environments, and its 60 Hz refresh rate feels a little dated compared to the Steam Deck's 90 Hz. And since the Switch doesn't support HDR, you're missing out on those lifelike colors and contrast that really make modern games pop. So while both systems technically have OLED screens, the Steam Deck OLED takes the crown here. It's brighter, sharper, smoother, and simply looks more impressive. The Switch OLED is a nice upgrade over the original Switch, but side by side, the Steam Deck OLED is in another league. Now, let's talk performance. Games like Jedi Survivor, the deck handles it, but battery life tanks. I'm talking maybe 3 hours tops. If you're used to marathon sessions, you'll be reaching for the charger. But in my case, I rarely have time for multi-hour gaming anymore. 1 hour here, 90 minutes there. It fits my lifestyle perfectly. Of course, I've also forgotten to charge it more times than I'd like to admit, so I've definitely learned to keep a USB-C cable nearby. The cool thing is that you can adjust performance on the fly. You want max visuals? Go for it. You want smoother gameplay with longer battery? Drop the frame rate to 40 or 60 FPS. I usually keep mine at 60 FPS since it's the sweet spot between smooth gameplay and not draining the battery too fast. The UI is super intuitive. Power it on and boom, your library is right there. No complicated menus, no hunting for stuff. All your games organized, ready to launch. The performance overlay is also a hidden gem. You can see your system stats, adjust refresh rates, and customize your playstyle. It feels like PC gaming without the clutter of a desktop. So far, I've had a blast working through my backlog. Road Rage plays smooth as butter, and I finally finished Red Dead Redemption. That game blew me away. The visuals, the performance, it didn't stutter once. For a handheld, that's insane. And then there's Emulation. I installed Emulation Station and started with just one game, Kingdom Hearts on the PS2. That was one of my childhood favorites, and reliving it on the deck has been magical. It runs beautifully, and honestly, it feels surreal playing PS2 classics on a handheld that doubles as a modern PC. I've since picked up a second deck, the LCD version, because it went on sale. Yes, I might have a problem. But hey, now I get to mess around with emulating other systems. Switch, Xbox 360, GameCube, you name it.
Rather a stubborn old goat, wouldn't you say? Who are you? Oh, hey, hold on there, Fuzzboy. Oh, wait, let me guess. You want to enter the games, right? Well, then, get a load of this.
And let's not forget one of the biggest perks of Steam Deck. The games are cheap. Steam sales are legendary. While Nintendo charges $60 to $80 for a single game, I walked away with a stack of great titles for about $50 during the autumn sale. It makes filling up your library fun instead of financially painful. So is the Steam Deck worth it? Absolutely. Here's why. Hit the power button, pause instantly, and pick up right where you left off. Comfort. The ergonomics are better than I expected. I thought it'd feel heavy, but the design melts away in your hands after a few minutes. Performance, it can run pretty much anything you throw at it. AAA titles, indie gems, emulators, it's all fair game. And affordability, Steam sales make it a budget gamer's dream machine. Now, is it perfect? No. Battery life could definitely be better. If you're planning 6-hour road trips without charging, this isn't the device for you. The fans can spin up and get a little noisy at times, and you do have to tinker here and there, adjusting settings, tweaking frame rates, maybe installing community plugins if you really want to squeeze out the best performance. But here's the thing. If you're buying a Steam Deck, you're probably the kind of gamer who enjoys a little tinkering. And if you're not, the out-of-the-box experience is still excellent. And that's what makes the Steam Deck so special. It's flexible enough to be whatever you want it to be. A handheld Switch alternative? Check. A mini portable gaming PC? Check. An emulation machine that lets you replay your childhood library? Absolutely. It adapts to you instead of forcing you into one box. For me, the Steam Deck has become my favorite handheld of all time. It's the first one that actually made me want to play big, heavy AAA games away from my desk. It made me want to clear my backlog. It even got me to replay games I loved growing up, but now in bed, on the couch, or while traveling. That's the kind of impact this little machine has had on me. So if you're on the fence about picking one up, here's my advice. Think about what you actually want from gaming. If you want portability, flexibility, and access to an absolutely massive library of games at prices that won't wreck your wallet, the Steam Deck is a no-brainer. It's not perfect, but it's probably the most fun I've had with gaming in years. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this review, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me what your first game on the Steam Deck would be. Who knows? We might even be playing the same one.